Welcome back into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. It is a Losing Tuesday live show, which means it's therapy hour, which I think we very much need after the DeMarvion Overshown injury. And if you had playoff hopes, you need it after the outcome of that Cowboys-Bengals game. Give me your one-word reaction to said game. We are still in that 24-hour window, so whatever you say, you can take it back later if you need to. It's just fine. We won't hold it against you. One-word reaction to the Cowboys versus Bengals game. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. I see meh, sad. Good one. Probably less about losing and more about the injury to Overshown, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Tanking, crap. Let's see what else we got in there. That Commanders game fooled some people. Really did. They weren't going to win games. Try to tell you. They're just not good enough. Crap, tanking. Sad, I think it's a good one too. That was. Stone, you were live on our Bengals channel for that game.
I was.
What's your one-word reaction to it?
Finally, as a Bengals fan,
fair.
finally.
That's fair.
Yeah, look, I don't have a problem admitting the Bengals got lucky in this game, but they've gotten so unlucky the rest of the year that they were due for some good fortune. And they finally got it.
At some point, the luck was going to flip the other way. So I do agree on that front there. There weren't many penalties for the Cowboys either. A couple games around, they've been better with the penalties, and still doesn't end up mattering enough. Give me your one-word reaction for me in the comments section of today's show. Also, would like to show some love for DeMarvion Overshown. We will break down that injury here in just a little bit, but it is season-ending multi-ligament tear for DeMarvion Overshown, which is it's just about as bad as you can get for a very talented young player who had played so well. ACL, MCL, and the PCL all getting torn. That's to put it not delicately, that's what we call a shredded knee. It's just an awful injury for one of your biggest bright spots of the entire season. I'm heartbroken for the kid. We're not going to see him this year. Over under a year, like 12 months till we see him again. Maybe he can come back mid part of next season, but it's going to be a long, grueling rehab, and it sucks. His buddy John Stevens also had the ACL tear, got hurt again this year too, so they can go right back and do their rehab stuff together. But it's just brutal. So show him some love. Type 13 for me in the comment section of today's show. It is made possible by Game Time, the place for last-minute tickets to your next big event. Make sure you check out the Game Time Picks feature. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to only show you the incredible deals on great seats. So don't have to waste time searching through thousands of different tickets. It is curation designed to save you more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. That's code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, over at GameTime.co for $20 off your first purchase. Also made possible today by Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. You simply pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 200 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. They're giving you $50 instantly once you download the app and use code CLNS and play your first $5 lineup. So use that code, $50 instantly with code CLNS after you play your first $5 lineup. All right, honest answers here for me, folks. And again, it's a safe space to vote however you feel you need to vote. Do you want to beat the Panthers? Do you want to beat Carolina, knowing your season is well and truly over now? Not that it was ever really alive in the first place, but you don't have, I'll double check the projection stuff here. You don't have any real possibility of making it through to the playoffs. Now, you needed to not lose that game. You basically had to win out. You are facing, you can use ESPN and NFL Next Gen Stats. New York Times has one too. You have a less than 1% chance to make the playoffs right now. You're not technically eliminated. You can win out, and you have a 1% chance of making the playoffs. Or no, sorry, I played that wrong. My bad. Win out, and you have a 9% chance of making the playoffs. You need a tremendous amount of help you're just not going to get. So do you want to build for the future with wins, build some confidence, or do you want to get that top pick? Both answers are fine. Y for yes and for no in the comment section of today's show. You are just in a really, really, really bad spot, and you need so much help. It's just not going to happen. Do you want to win? Build some confidence. Y for yes and for no. Now, that's what you want. What do you think happens on Sunday? Cowboys, Panthers. The Panthers are favored for the first time in nearly 2 full calendar years. Let that sink in for a second. Nearly 2 full calendar years. Mid-December 2020. It's like a year and 363 days is the difference. Last time they were favored. They're now 2.5 point favorite, by the way, over the Cowboys. Who do you got? P for the Panthers, C for the Cowboys. Who do you think wins that game? I put the over-under at 1.5 wins, and I feel like the under is going to happen. I think this is your best chance to get a win, outside of like Commanders or not trying in Week 18 because they've locked up a playoff spot. Who you got? C or P? Steven's got his C. Marble Sky, Texas Boy, say P. Detour 13. Jordan or Homie Comma Jordan has C. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. And if you just so happen to want to get that top 10 pick, which you're in the range of having an option there, like the video for me. Or if you just want to win games, you can like the video too. Whatever. It's what do you want to have as the ideal outcome for the Cowboys? Wins or tanking? Like it either way. Kind of speak it into existence. Let me know by liking the video on today's show. Coming up live here on the Cowboys Report, news and rumors. We'll break down the unfortunate DeMarvion Overshown injury, some reaction from Micah Parsons, what the heck's going on with Bill Belichick's head coach candidacy, all kinds of chaos there. A mailbag as well. Get your questions in right now. Hashtag Cowboys or skip the line. Guarantee you get on with a super chat. Steven already has his first hashtag Cowboys in there, which I greatly appreciate, Steven. Thank you very much. Be like Steven. Use that hashtag Cowboys so Producer Stone can find your question, bring it up on screen. And we will preview Cowboys, Panthers. Yes, we will still do previews because we will still be live for all of these Cowboys games, the final 4 of a Disaster Class 2024 season. So, seeing some Trey Lance questions. Make sure you're using hashtag Cowboys, though, if you want to get on the show. Coming up on this edition of the Cowboys Report, we will break down the just heartbreaking DeMarvion Overshown injury news. A lot of Micah Parsons' reaction has drawn attention from national media. And just what the heck is going on with Bill Belichick and his North Carolina head coach candidacy. We'll get to that, but first, 4 games left. Cowboys are underdogs against the Panthers. Will be dogs against the Bucs probably, for sure against the Eagles. Probably watching unless they've not playing their starters. How many more games do you think the Cowboys will end up winning this year? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Let's begin with the absolutely heartbreaking injury news for DeMarvion Overshown. A torn ACL, MCL, and PCL against the Bengals. So his season is over. He will not play again in 2024. He'll get surgery this week to repair what unfortunately is a shredded knee. And there is a real chance he misses at least a huge part of the 2025 season too. Now, the good news here, maybe it's not even good news, it's not more bad news, is maybe the better way of phrasing it. No nerve damage for Overshown, which you tear all 3 and you get a little bit worried about that one. Kind of don't know how he was able to walk off the field. Assistance I know, but to kind of just not be carted off was kind of surprising given all the bad stuff we've seen with the injury there. No nerve issues. It's not a Jalen Smith thing there, but his season's over, and you don't know when the next chance will be to be able to see him out there on the Cowboys field, which sucks. Because Overshown was, especially relative to expectations, is there a player outplaying expectations this year more than Overshown? Maybe Rico Dowdle in that conversation, but Overshown looked like a budding star at linebacker. And now 2 years, 2 bad knee injuries, and he's just been tantalized by the ability, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And I'm frankly heartbroken for the kid. So was Micah Parsons, his buddy. Micah afterwards said, I cried. That's like my little bro. He don't deserve that. He doesn't. To understand we have to go through and to be there for him physically and mentally, just so challenging because he's so talented. The year he was having, I don't really think that's fair either. I agree with Micah. It's not fair. Now, football and life is not fair in general, but we can point out when things are not fair too. I think that's one of the worst things that could have happened in that game because now it impacts your 2025 planning. Think about what you have at linebacker. You can't count on Overshown playing, certainly not starting, to open up the 2025 season. Eric Hendricks is going to be a free agent. Who knows who his DC will be? Reese Leofau was under contract. Damone Clark's under contract. But Clark was a scratch last week. The team doesn't trust him. I don't think Buddy Johnson's more than a backup special teamer. So players I feel comfortable playing at linebacker next year under contract is 1. And that's assuming we get some better play out of Maurice Leofau, who I thought did play well when he was pressed into duty after the injury to Overshown. So that's very positive there. You're going to get a real up-close look at him down the stretch this year. Hopefully he can show some good stuff. But now you need linebacker help in a bigger way than you did 24 hours ago. I do want to make sure we're showing Overshown the love. Everyone type 13 for me in the comments section. The ad comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Go show Overshown some love by typing 13. Let's talk Micah Parsons here. Now, he very much got caught on the cameras crashing out, let's call it that way. He visibly upset. At the end of that Cowboys loss, he looks just besides himself. He's unbelievably upset. Walked off the field before the clock hit 0. He had a lot to say post-game, which I appreciate Micah actually talking. Here's what he said. I'm hurt. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I can't put that into words, man. I wasn't really grasping what was going on. We just caught a huge stop. We're going into a 2-minute drill. It's hard to put into words. You think and believe you can pull that game out from that situation. That hurts. The players, so many situations. He means injuries, by the way. I wouldn't say it's snowballing, but I don't know. This is we're paying a dude that's just not fair. I don't know if it's bad luck, karma, but in terms of work ethic, everyone's working so hard. I think we did well. We could have done a little bit better containing and gave us some points, but you told me to hold Joe Burrow to 20 points with 2 minutes left with our offense, the way we move the ball. I think we could win that game. I'm really going to soak this one in. This one hurt me more than any loss this year. Probably even worse than the playoff loss, to be honest, because where we were going, how we were playing good football. I'm going to sit on this. We have to find a way to keep these guys alive. There's still football to be had. There's still an opening to be had. We have to take advantage of every opportunity the rest of the way. We can't let these types of games slip away like we did today. The last part was, I think, some leadership from Micah there. With trying to get guys locked in for the rest of the season. Disagree on this one being worse than the Packers loss, but I think I have a reason for that. Give me your one-word reaction. What Micah said, the whole walking off the field, being visibly upset. One-word reaction to what Micah said and did in last night's game. I think from Micah, whether he admits it or not, even realizes it, I kind of think that was acceptance stage of grief. He's been the bargaining stage. We can make a run. We can do it. We have little to no chance. We can make this happen. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on in the past week for the Cowboys that I think kind of hit Micah at the end. And it got him emotional. That's not necessarily a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. You know, Micah, who looks up to Zach Martin. Martin's season's over. Maybe his career as well. One of his good friends, DeMarvion Overshown, who, again, says like a little brother to him. Brutal injury. The season is over now. He can say what he wants to say. You got a less than 1% chance of making playoffs. It's just not going to happen. I think that was passion that came through with Micah, of thinking you're going to be able to win and just knowing it's not going to happen and knowing, deep down what that means for your season. I don't know if that level of passion is actually a bad thing. I don't know if that level of emotion is a negative thing. I'm glad he spoke post-game and not just, stormed off the field and left. He cares. I want guys who care. I want guys that get upset when they lose games and don't just go, whatever, and tweet about not getting the ball enough, Deebo Samuel. I don't want that. I'm actually okay with the way Micah handled everything. Truly, I am. And he bought in this year to what Mike Zimmer was saying. He bought in. I think he's definitely disappointed. It's justified to be disappointed as well. hopefully things look better next year. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. It is the place for tickets to your next big, not just NFL game, but maybe you want to go to a college football playoff game or a bowl game near you. Game Time is the place to make that happen. Use the Game Time Picks feature. It shows you the best deals. It filters out the fluff. Make sure you're getting the best offer possible to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. It's curation to make it easier to find the best price on great seats. You can get the Seat View feature, a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The Game Time guarantee is this. It'll credit you 110% of the difference if you find tickets in the same section and row for less elsewhere. So whether it's sports, concerts, comedy, theater, or something else altogether, download the Game Time app today, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Let's talk Bill Belichick, because this does impact the Cowboys, by the way. He remains in discussion with UNC about their head coaching job, but there's very much some conflicting info that has come out here. So earlier today, Ali Connolly, who does British but does college football stuff in particular, he reported Bill Belichick has agreed to coach North Carolina, which the follow-up tweets that he had in the thread were not as clear on that. Belichick has a 400-page outline, I'm calling it a manifesto, I don't care, on how to make it work at the college level for the North Carolina Tar Heels. He also has tons of demands in that, from here's what you got to spend, here's what you pay me, what you pay my staff, my son gets to be a head coach in waiting. It'd be a massive new level of investment for North Carolina in the NIL era. And allegedly, the UNC board is not sold on that. And they go, I don't know about that. UNC, meanwhile, per The Athletic, has made an offer to Bill Belichick. Belichick's considering the offer, and nothing's imminent. The two sides are still apart on several things. So we'll go more in depth on what I think the middle ground between those two reports are. But if you still want Bill Belichick, if he doesn't take that North Carolina job, you want him as the Cowboys head coach. Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. I want to say this part very clearly. I think headline of agreed to be the North Carolina head coach is just not good wording and frankly outright inaccurate at this stage. You can't agree to something if it's not both sides. I think what has happened here is North Carolina has one offer. Bill Belichick has a different offer. Both sides say, we'll do our offers, but that doesn't mean both sides have agreed. You don't have actual agreements. You can say that you agree to date Sydney Sweeney. Doesn't really matter if she doesn't say yes otherwise. That's not how it works. You got to have two sides that agree to something. So I think there's mutual interest, but that's not set in stone yet. Either way, Dallas is going to have options at the head coaching spot. Whether you want Bill Belichick, don't want him, I don't think Mike's going to come back. Be a chill guy. Let things play out. Don't panic. Don't tilt your skis too far in one direction. And don't crash out. Be a chill guy. Let things play out. We'll know a lot more in the coming days and hours and weeks and months. It's mailbag time here. You sure like that one there, Chris, the Sydney Sweeney line. Yeah, I'll sit on that one. Two ways to get on the show. You can use hashtag Cowboys or skip the line altogether and super chat. We'll get to We Don't Wife These 304s. Super chat is part of the mailbag. Get those questions in. Hashtag Cowboys or super chat. Skip the line altogether. Only a couple of hashtag Cowboys questions, so we would like to have more and a great chance for you to get on the show as well. Use hashtag Cowboys or super chat. I think I saw a couple come in earlier from Steven had some in there. Robert's got some in there. Got to use that hashtag Cowboys or else all the questions we ask end up burying the regular comments that came in otherwise. So get them in for me in the comment section of today's show. Let's dive into today's mailbag. Richard Robinson, a super thanks to begin today's show. DeMarcus Ware for Denver, Dez, Romo, Witt, Zeke in his prime, etc. Now Zach Martin. We're all great Cowboys serving Super Bowl, but never got there. How many more careers get wasted? This sucks. This is about the Zach Martin injury. And he's spot on. And that's what's most sad to me about guys like Martin, guys like Travis Frederick, guys like Tyron Smith as well. Those guys are at least Ring of Honor caliber players. Some of them are Hall of Famers. And blame the ownership here, but you just don't get the end results each one. That's really, really heartbreaking. Mighty Ant 0215. He's right. I didn't include the super thanks on the end screen. It's been adjusted. So moving forward, my friend, you will see those on there. My apologies for not having them on there previously. I will adjust that and make sure things happen for you moving forward. So thank you. Appreciate that. Now, all these questions are super thanks. It's a feature here on YouTube. Let's donate outside of live videos. Not everyone can watch live. Some of you have jobs and stuff and other things that are more important than just watching a YouTube show. We appreciate everyone who tunes in live. Don't get me wrong. But can't always do it live. That's fine. Edit your message, send in whatever, and we'll show you some love on the show. Xavier Worthy Burner, who will also have one from on Thursday's live show. It just came in, but it was too close to live. So we'll do it on the next show there, Xavier. 3-round mock draft, Abdul Carter. That's the Penn State edge rusher. Jahdae Barron, the Texas kind of safety, who I'm a big fan of his game. I think he's really good. And Aaron Beck that is good. I like it. I don't think he can get Abdul Carter. I think he's going to be a top 7 pick. I don't know if you're going to be in the top 7. But I would like that process. I think that's good. It's a good haul. C.J. DeYoung III, who, look, this is a very, 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 very long super thanks. So I'm just going to let Producer Stone kind of scroll through it as he sees fit timing-wise. There's a lot to break down. The gist of it is this. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones suck. And I think a lot of us agree on that. It has been a lot of issues with this team over the past 25-plus years, almost 30 years now. And ownership has to take more accountability than what they've taken. I can't get rid of ownership. I can't fire them, but they haven't done a good job. And when other teams are spending more cash than you are, you get up there and say, we're all in on this season, and you do nothing. It's just not realistic. And it's not fair to the fans. And that's why I am very upset. That's why we have the whole end screen on why we're all mad at the Jones boys. I think it's both Jerry and Steven get accountability here. And they never take blame. But they are to blame. They're the owners. They want to play dress-up GM and take all the credit. They get the blame when it's all bad, too. So are the Jones boys to blame? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know what the pinned comments of today's show, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube. We know wife these 304s. Who do you believe the next coach will be? Gruden. Had me feeling nicey. It's the only proper answer to that. We did one-word reaction to Gruden hired. It's got to be nicey. You can't take away what John Gruden said in those emails. I think it is very suspicious that it was a commander's investigation to Dan Snyder that got those leaked. But I don't know if we can hire him there. I'm glad he's back in the content game with Barstool. It's really entertaining for me. I love him. He's such a good football mind. But I don't know if you can hire that guy to be your head coach. I wonder if Mike Vrabel is your most likely option there. Tan Fam, should we draft a quarterback early in 2025? I define early as first 3 rounds. My answer is no. It's not a good quarterback class. If you are or were convinced one of these guys that gets to you at pick 8, whatever it is an elite top 10 franchise quarterback type, okay. I don't think that's who's going to be there because I think Ward and Shadur are going to be long gone. I ain't taking Jalen Milroe at 8. Drew Aller at 8. I think should also go back to school, by the way. I'm not taking a QB this year early. You want to take one day 3? Sure, that's fine. That's never a bad thing. It's day 3, whatever. But I'm not investing in asset at quarterback when I clearly have others I have to find a way to fix and organize and balance. Andrew Vanderpool. What do you think of Dable as a head coach if he's fired? I think he's a good coach who hasn't had a real chance to do the quarterback play. So I do think the quarterback play has been a huge issue in New York. I would have a lot more interest, like if I hypothetically hire Mike Vrabel, right? Dable's also a Belichick coaching tree guy. Does he want to come be my offensive coordinator? Does Mike Kaff want to be my offensive coordinator? I will say this part too. I don't know if Dable's always the easiest coach to get along with, because he and Wink Martindale had a pretty ugly divorce at the end. And there was some reporting that had quotes from, like, not those two guys of, like, Dable was out there blaming the Giants' defense for losing games, and, like, it very clearly wasn't the defense's fault. Like, I'm a little bit hesitant to go down that path of head coach. I can interview him, see how he vibes with everybody. I would have interest as an OC for sure as well, but I would have some hesitation there, specifically for head coach. But I think he's worthy of an interview. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It's the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 200 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. That's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. They're giving away 2 free picks in December, giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas, and they got a freebie for you this week. Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard. He'll get it. We'll pair it. We're riding producer Jack's picks as he's been on a heater. Jaden Daniels, more than 217.5 passing yards, which I think is really low for Daniels. And Tyreek Hill, more than 74.5 receiving yards. Miami fights for their slim playoff dreams. Download the Prize Picks app today over at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. From Steven, can Mike finally start Lance and see what he can do? The reality we're facing that a lot of us might not want to admit is that I don't think Trey Lance looks very good in practice. Because Mike McCarthy's coaching for his career right now. He's trying to save his job. I think if they thought that Lance was better, he'd be out there already. That said, I would like to play Trey Lance because I really don't want to watch Cooper Rush for another month. I really don't. I would much rather just let Lance loose, see what he can do. If he's my tank commander, awesome. I lose more games, or I have a new backup quarterback next year. I can re-sign him. That's what I do. Charlie, if Jerry's the issue, why move on from Mike? Fair question. I can't fire the owner. I can't dump him. And as much as I will try to do things and you can't always do it, I do think you should always try to evaluate in a bubble. Ignore the negatives and positives you get. You hired Mike McCarthy as an offensive-minded head coach. You didn't let him call plays his first 3 years. You've let him call plays his last 2 years. And outside of a half-season run last year that featured a bit of a come-to-Jesus moment with the quarterback and wide receiver, saying we got to change some stuff here, and McCarthy listens, and then they went right back to the stuff that didn't work previously. Mike McCarthy's offenses have not been good as the play caller. It seems like the game has passed him by. And the pitch I've heard is, well, Mike can come back, but you got to get a new offensive coordinator. Why are we doing that? Why? Why would I bother? Why do I have an offensive-minded head coach who I now don't trust to call my plays and lead my offense, who can't manage a game clock, who constantly finds frustrating ways to self-inflicted wound their way to a loss? Why would he stay? Jerry's the #1 issue. There's a lot of them. I can fix one of them with Mike. So do you want him back as Cowboys head coach? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Robert Simmons, do you agree we should draft a backup quarterback next season? If so, who? Again, you can do it if you want to, but I'm not really trying to spend a premium pick on a quarterback, and I don't like this day 3 quarterback class. I feel like Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck will probably get pushed up if they go pro. I don't think either of those guys are starting caliber. I think Drew Aller should go back to school. I think Garrett Nussmeier is going to go back to school. Jackson Dart just screams, backup QB. I get it's not fair. I get vibes of Matt Corral there. It's the Ole Miss Lane Kiffin stuff. It's not fair. I think Cade Klubnik will probably go back to school. And then I'm staring at the barrel of Will Howard, Curtis Rourke, Kyle McCord. Dylan Gabriel might end up being a top 7 QB, if not top 5 QB in this class. And he's a career backup. I don't love the class very much. So you can if you want, but you just kind of know you're getting into a backup there. Now, are you a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan? If you are, sub now. We can perfectly fine to disagree on stuff as long as you just want the Cowboys to have success, the real success that matters, that we're not going to see this year. Hit that sub button for more free Cowboys videos. Matty Ice, draft running back Ashton Genty or receiver like Luther Burden. Probably put T-Mac, Tedero McMillan at Arizona over Genty. Probably going to have Genty higher than Burden on my board, but I would not be mad at Luther Burden. That is a yak generator that you don't have on this team right now. I think would be a really good fit alongside CeeDee Lamb. Raymond, is there an upgrade out there over McCarthy? So, yes, I think there are better head coaches. I think Vrabel's a better head coach than Mike McCarthy. There are concerns with all your head coach candidates. I think Ben Johnson would be an upgrade. There's also this part. The mystery box isn't fun when you have a top 10 whatever at that position. If you had a top 10, like the Niners, the mystery box is not fun if you're trying to move on from Kyle Shanahan because he's really good. When you need something different and new no matter what, the mystery box becomes appealing. There's a chance you get a worse head coach if you go with one of the unknowns of Mike McCarthy. But you can go look at the top head coaches around the NFL. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. If you're a fan of what Mike McDaniel's doing, Matt LaFleur. A lot of these top, Dan Campbell, a lot of these top coaches are first-time head coaches. You have to expand your field beyond former head coach. If you limit yourself to only has been a failed NFL head coach, you're cutting off your pool by 70%. And that's going to limit your chances for success. Who do you want as the Cowboys head coach? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Rich Kaufman, Tom, let's pray for a real coaching search. Better line coaches. Jerry's going to Garrett again. I think you nailed the head on the first part. You need to have a real coaching search. You haven't had a real coaching search since you hired Wade Phillips all those years ago. Stop with the nonsense. Just do a real search. I'm talking double-digit candidates. Otherwise, you're not setting yourself for success. So many young coaches. The interview process matters. If you sit there and you bring in Mike Vrabel and Ron Rivera and you interview Joe Witt and Marvin Lewis and Jason Witten and Bill Belichick, and if he doesn't go to UNC, and you go, this is our 6-man search, and you hire Vrabel, okay, or whoever you hire, that's not a real search. Interview Bobby Slocum, I'm not a huge fan of. You should interview all these other offensive minds and get a real wide search so you can know who's going to be the right head coach. You interview the minimum again, you're just being stupid. Probably interview Dion just to give him the attention, if anything. All right, give me your one-word reaction to the Cowboys-Bengals game. One word and one word only, let me know here. One-word reaction. Sad was a good one. That one was just really, really frustrating. Suck. That certainly tracks too. That's very, very fair there. Let's see. Clumsy. Ooh, that's a good one. I do like clumsy. I like that. It's a good one. It's a really good one. All right. One-word reaction to the Cowboys-Bengals game. We also got a super chat from Winnow with these 304s. We'll get to that here in just a second. Discombobulated. Another good one. Another good one. Let's see. Deviation. Like standard deviation. Okay. Horrendous. One, two. All right, we don't wife these 304s. Any NCAA offensive coordinators you'd be interested in? I don't really want to go with the Chip Kelly route. I'm like, I don't think you're going to get an NFL CFP head coach to come be an NFL, so that like a top tier one. It kind of defeats the purpose. I don't think Will Stein, the Oregon OC, is a good fit. Penn State is very much a gadgety offense, but it's fun. But I think it's a college offense. Brandon Marion's fun, but the go-go offense is also a college offense. So I don't have any names top of my head that I think would really stand out to me. Like, I hate Phil Longo's offenses. I'm not going down the Bobby Petrino route. I don't think Mike Denbrock is that good. And there's a lot of fun gadgety offenses, but I don't want to go down that path. Just thought of this one. Do you know what I think actually is one of the better? It didn't show up this year. I think one of the more underrated college OCs is Kirby Moore. It's Kellen's brother at Missouri. Just thought about that one. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot of great like options. I think like one of the better OCs was Dirk Cutter. I've seen that path. He's at Boise State, by the way. Fun fact. That's not the route. That's not the route I want to go. Jutman, am I crazy for wanting to have Dez and Witten as receiver and tight end coaches next year? Tight end coach, no, because Witten is a coach. I don't think that Dez would make a great wide receivers coach. Kind of like I don't think Michael Irvin would make a great wide receivers coach either. Like, Dez needed a hype man? Hell yeah, let's do it. Replace Rowdy as the mascot? Hell yeah. But I don't think Dez. I don't think Romo would make a good coach either. Like, I don't think those guys are. I think Romo's really good in the media. I think Dez is the entertainer, the hype man, kind of like Michael was. I don't like you want the coach to be like the master of the craft, you know. And Dez was the freaky athlete. I don't think that's. I don't love that fit necessarily. So give me your one-word reaction to the Cowboys versus Bengals game. I would put Dez in there as like, it would be more entertaining to have, it would actually probably be bad because Dez shoots from the hip a lot, but I was going to say, like, let Dez do the Jerry Jones press conference interviews. That would also probably be, that also might be a little bit of like a chaos thing, but whatever. All right. Get your answers in. One-word reaction to the Cowboys versus Bengals game. We're going to preview. Yes, we're still going to do previews. Cowboys, Panthers coming up here in just a second. But do you want the Cowboys to beat the Panthers? It's a safe space to respond if you want to and feel comfortable answering one way or the other. Give me your answers. Y for yes, N for no. Let's talk Week 15 matchups here. This is Cowboys at Carolina. And in a very unbelievable moment, the Panthers are favored against the Dallas Cowboys. This is an ugly football game that I hope is not a national televised game because it shouldn't be. Over the course of the season, it is a bottom 10 offense and a bottom 2 defense in the Cowboys. Defense played much better as late. Offense is not. Panthers playing better on both sides of the ball. Been very competitive their past 5 games, even won a couple of them there. A bottom 5 offense and a bottom 1 defense in the NFL. But at home, now up to 2.5, opened at 1.5, the Panthers are now favored. Not just for the first time this year, not just for the first time since all of last year, but the first time in nearly 2 calendar years to the day. It's like 2 days off since 2022. That is how long it has been since the Carolina Panthers have been favored, and they're favored at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Some injuries to watch beyond the obvious unfortunate season ender for DeMarvion Overshown. Cooper Beebe is in concussion protocol. People have cleared before, but 6 days to clear is extremely unlikely, all things considered. Tyler Guyton, the ankle and knee, he was active last night, but didn't play. He's got to practice to play. It's been kind of clear from McCarthy this year. Goodwin pulled a hamstring, so more special teams issues there. CeeDee Lamb's shoulder injury is just going to be something he manages. I think Wanya Thomas also likely out with his knee issue. Maybe comes back down the stretch this season. Let's talk keys to victory or defeats if you would rather lose this one. And number one, your defense has to dominate. Early this year, when they were banged up with injuries, they weren't a good team on defense. Massive chunk plays being allowed, blown assignments. They were 30th in EPA per play. They could not stop the run at all. They were getting gashed. The last 5 weeks now, they've been a fringe top 10 team. Now, they've allowed some chunk plays still. The rushing off defense has been much better. It's really been a singular long Joe Mixon run and quarterback scrambles. Running backs only handoffs. The Cowboys are allowing like 3.8 yards per carry the past 5 weeks. The front's played better. How you handle no DeMarvion Overshown could lead to some worse results as well. Carolina, meanwhile, who has been a bad offense over the course of the season, has gone from near the NFL's worst, but now about league average-ish. And not only that, it's gotten better each week. You've seen better play from Bryce Young, better play from the offense as a whole, and that leads to a lot more success. And they've been a very good run team as of late as well. So who you got in this one? C for the Cowboys, P for the Panthers. We'll make it the pinned comment on today's show. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. C or P. Who do you think ends up winning? Number two. Look, I don't know what your head coach has to see to make this a reality. You just need to feed the ball to Rico Dowdle. Plus CeeDee Lamb, different conversation for another day. Rico Dowdle was averaging over 100 yards per game over his last 3 games. He has played lights out. He's averaging 7.3 yards per carry, 5.1, 4.5, and he's averaging less than 20 carries per game. You need to give him the ball. You cannot have a potential go-ahead drive situation, pick up 14 yards with Rico, and go, okay, pass, 3 and out. That's bad coaching. A winning game plan is not, okay, Cooper Rush, have fun, let's drop back 35 times a game. It's not. It worked against the Giants because they're terrible. It worked against the Commanders because the defense, special teams, bailed you out. It didn't work against Houston. You have to limit Cooper Rush. And to do that, you have to feed Rico Dowdle. He is your second best playmaker. Stop being stupid. When the run is working, lean into it. I hate run, pass. I think that's a better game plan with this current offensive construction than going pass. Today's show is made possible by Game Time, the place for last-minute tickets to your next big event. Use the Game Time Picks feature. It makes getting tickets if your teams play live even easier. It filters out all the fluff to only show you the incredible deals on great seats. Don't waste time searching through thousands of different tickets. It's curation designed to make it easier to find the best price on great seats. Could be for a Cowboys game. If you don't want to go to that, I get it. There are Mavs games you can always go to. Bowl games coming up. You can go to the Frisco Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, one of the CFP semis coming up here in the not-too-distant future. Or a concert, comedy, theater. Maybe earn some brownie points this holiday season so you can watch. To be honest, you're probably going to watch the college games more than the NFL games. But download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's Game Time. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Remember that terms do apply. Number 3, you need better Cooper Rush. You just have to have more success on that side of the ball. This is just not winning football. I am sorry. This is who Cooper Rush has been over the entirety of his NFL career. His career numbers and his numbers this year look pretty darn similar. The turnover to touchdown ratio, very similar. The completion percentage is down by 0.7 over his 60% career rate. The yards per attempt down by a little bit more. You can use stuff like EPA to get a feel for the offense. In his starts this year, there is no worse offense in expected points added, especially through the air, but overall, than this Cowboys offense with Cooper Rush. They are bad. They do not have success on third downs. They do not hit chunk plays. They only do short passes. Rush is not a very accurate QB. It's a problem. And the receiving core is not chock full of incredible talent outside of Lamb to overcome that. And the play caller is not doing a good enough job either. He's just not a starting QB. And this game plan of letting Rush air it out is a bad idea. Got to dial it back if you want to win games. So don't miss our Cowboys versus Panthers live watch party. We will be here. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/CowboysTV. All right, key to number 4, you got to stop the special teams screw-ups. Now, outside of the kicker, this special teams unit has not been very good. Well, and the returns from Turpin. So 2 special players, which Bones Fossil kind of found those guys. He gets credit there. But like you can't be muffing punts after you get a free block because the Bengals screw it up. And you have penalties left and right on returns. Your second most penalties on special teams this year. Like, you just got to stop it. You know, you're not good enough on offense to overcome blunders on special teams. It's supposed to be special, not bad. The big issues. Again, a lot of issues with this team. The little things, the details have to matter. McCarthy's not good at attention to detail. That's been made very clear, despite what Jerry Jones might say. I think it's showing up there on special teams this season. Especially with you're shuffling a lot of guys in, and you're feeling it. All right, give me your score prediction of Cowboys against the Panthers. Mine to come at the end of today's show. Let me know what you think the final score of Cowboys versus Panthers will be. Key to victory or defeat number 5, go save Mike McCarthy's job. Or don't. I'm a chill guy. I don't really care. I don't think Mike's going to come back. I will say I'm going to get my prediction in now. You lose, you're out of the playoff hunt. The Panthers, every time they've won this year, have gotten somebody fired, basically. The Panthers firing god is going to demand a sacrifice. If you lose, I bet that's Cooper Rush, and they start Trey Lance the final 3 games of the season, if they lose. And I think that they will end up losing. My final score prediction, it's a bit of an ugly game. Panthers win 23-20, and the march to a top 10 pick continues. All right, be honest with me, folks. Do you want to beat the Panthers? Safe space to answer right now. Do you want to beat the Carolina Panthers? Y for yes, N for no. 59% say no. They are embracing the tank. Again, I don't really disagree. I think that's kind of the barrel you're staring down. It hasn't been good enough there. Do you want to beat the Panthers? Y for yes, N for no. Now, we'll have multiple free Cowboys videos for you guys every single day, even as the season gets out of hand there. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV, and we'll see you guys again on Thursday for our next live show, plus regular VODs all week long.